Before Finland earned its independence, its people began seeking out fortune in a new world. The Copper Country's population started small, but would grow to hold a strong influence over the community. Keweenaw Bureau reporter Thomas Fournier has more on the journey Finnish immigrants took to arrive in the Keweenaw Peninsula.
The Copper Country's Finnish heritage appears as street names, flags hanging along Quincy Street in Hancock, and in its people. Hancock started with only 20 Finnish immigrants who arrived before Finland would see its own independence.
Prior to 1914, the Finns had never known a self-governing Finland. Finland functioned as a subordinate of the Swedish governance for centuries, and then that led into Russian imperialism in the early 1800s. So Finns were essentially disenfranchised laborers. In the West, there was a collapsing wooden ship building and tarring industry that was taking place on the Bothnian coast, and there was famines that led a lot of Finns to consider leaving just broader Scandinavia and also the Duchy of Finland.
Seeking a higher quality of life, many Finnish immigrants found work with Keweenaw Peninsula's copper mining companies. MTU archivist Lindsay Hiltonen says word from those immigrants traveled quickly across the Atlantic Ocean, encouraging more people to enter the United States.
Around 700 to 1,000 Finns immigrated in that part of the mid-19th century. And then through family connections that they had back across the pond, they were writing letters, telling stories to family that there were opportunities in Michigan, Minnesota, and the Upper Great Lakes region more generally. So I know that they were trying to get family to come, and also companies such as Quincy were starting to actively recruit. By the 1870s, some 3,000 Finns had immigrated, and then from 1893 to 1920, almost 300,000 arrived in the Copper Country. So there was definitely an exponential growth in that regard.
Along with their skills and knowledge, Finns also brought ideas and concepts to build a nesting place. The Finnish community's influence on the Keweenaw Peninsula extended beyond businesses and laborers.
There was a term that they referred to as their nesting place, their pesupaikki. So I think Calumet was sort of their first nesting place in that regard in the early 1900s. By 1880, just for instance, leading into that turn of the 20th century, Calumet Finns supported a newspaper, several saunas, a lending library. They had a watchmaker shop. There was a saloon that was sort of like a Finnish enclave. They had many newspapers that they opened up in the region. And then, of course, many people know about the educational influence with the founding of Suomi College, which was later Finlandia University, that was founded in 1896 as a seminary, but then it went on to venture into broader educational opportunities. Despite the university closing, there's still a really strong influence regarding that education, and I think the Finnish American Archives, as well as the Finnish American Heritage Center, are doing a lot to maintain cultural performance, installations of art and different material culture, and also important research and cultural gathering place for people, not just of Finnish heritage, but people interested in that Finnish influence.
You can find more information about the Finnish American Heritage Center and its programs, including information for Hike and Paiva online. With my UP News in Hancock, this is Thomas Fournier.